did he do in Athens? Michael?
I think he might have studied.
He did. He studied. Because this was a period of learning, right? A period of questioning. He went to Athens to study, and did he stay there?
No.
Do you remember how old he was when he left Athens? Do you remember how old? Michael?
I think he was around 30.
He was 30. And where did he go? Do you remember where he went? He went to, do you remember, Jack? Yeah, very good. He went to Egypt. Yeah. And where in Egypt? It was a place of hustle and bustle and lots of learning and inquisitiveness and curiosity and questioning. Paul? Alexandria. And he went to work for who? Who did he go to work for? Gabriel? The king. Actually, he taught the king's son, right? He tutored the king's son. And he went to a place named after the 9 muses. Where did he go? Paul? Museum. And we have the word museum named after Caroline? Or Anna?
The muses.
The 9 muses of Zeus, right? Right? So museum named after the 9 muses, and lots was happening in that museum. Was the museum like our museums today?
No.
No. What did they do at the museum? What did Eratosthenes do at the museum? Anna Grace.
Well, the earth, and he made the earth with camels,
You're right. Anna Grace just said that he studied the earth, and he studied the, what is that? The circumference of the earth using, she said, camels, using, Matthew? Yes, the shadow of angles and, Anna?
plumb lines.
And plumb lines, right? Are those things that are used today? It's not. We have modern technology, and guess what? We talked about Eratosthenes being only how far off in the circumference of the earth using these methods. How far off was he, Gavin?
200 miles.
Only 200 miles. Wow. What else did he do at the museum? Mia?
He got a job as a librarian, and when he got the job, he said now he was on.
He was the head librarian, right, after the death of the librarian? And he said, now I can get all my questions answered because I can read and read and read, and I can pick up a book just like this, right? And I can sit down, open it up, and I can read. Is that what he said? I'm going to take my book off the shelf, just like I do at St. John Bosco, or I do at the public library, and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to read. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Is that what he did?
No.
What did he do? Gavin?
He pulled out a scroll.
He had to pull the scroll out the shelf, right? Or out of the jar. Because the books were scrolls, right? And talk about schooling. When he was at school, did they sit in desks like you do? Where did they sit? Huh? On the floor. What did they use to write with? They took out their pen, their pencil, Anna, and they started writing? Did they?
No.
What did they write with, Michael?
They wrote with, like, pointy stick.
Do you remember the name of that? Stylus, right? Stylus, a stick. And did they write on paper?
No.
What did they write on?
No.
Jack? Do you remember? Want to help him, Paul?
Wax tablet.
Wax tablets, right? So here he is at the museum, just like at school. He's reading. He takes a scroll off the shelf. He reads. He takes another scroll off. He reads. And he makes lists because he was a good list maker. And he wrote his questions down. He wrote his answers down. And he made many wonderful discoveries. He wrote what first books? What first book did he write before anyone else? Do you remember? What kind of book, Anna Grace?
I think it was,
The study of the land and the earth. What is that? Paul?
geography.
Yeah, the first geography book. Eratosthenes, right? Wonderful things. Wonderful because of his curiosity, because of his wonder. He kept asking questions. So Eratosthenes wrote the first book on geography. He measured the circumference of the earth. But I want you to think about, I know it's very hot today. Boys and girls, I want you to think about this period of time of Eratosthenes, about the 300s. And there were some things that happened during the period of Eratosthenes. Now we're going to take your pictures that you illustrated of Eratosthenes, and we're going to do a little bit of writing with it, because you are excellent writers. And during this period of time, Michael, what was invented? Remember, this was really neat. We talked about this. What was invented? And you were to go home and you were going to write out something for your moms and dads. God bless you. What was invented? Gabriel. Grammar. Sentence is complete. When
5 simple rules.
it meets.
It has a subject,
And a verb that makes sense with every word.
And a capital letter, and an end mark too. All in part.
No. Remember?
Subject, verb, complete sense. Capital letter and an end mark too. That's what a sentence is all about. Woo!
So it was during this period of time that grammar was invented. Were there capital letters during this period of time, Mia?
No, but they invented, in his period they invented the capital letters and the spaces
And the spaces, right. So give me a sentence. Give me a sentence, Anna.
Miss Martina walked Teddy on the sidewalk.
Mrs. Martina. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to ask you to give me a sentence about Eratosthenes. Caroline.
Eratosthenes, he wondered.
Oops. Eratosthenes wondered.
And asked a lot of questions.
And asked. Can you read this easy? Asked.
No.
A lot.
Eratosthenes asked a lot of questions. Eratosthenes wondered and asked a lot of questions.
Okay, crisscross applesauce. What do the ancient Greeks do to make this make more sense than we do today? What do you think, Ryan? What's wrong with what's up here?
There's no capital letter, and there's no period and finger spaces.
Yeah, so it was the ancient Greeks that invented capital letters, periods, exclamation marks, question marks, and spaces in between words. Do you know why they did that? Do you know how we talked about acting in plays before? Do you remember how we talked about acting in plays, Gabriel? Well, guess what? When they acted something out and they were given a script, do you know what a script is? It says the part and what it is that you're supposed to say. If it was all together like this, would it be really hard for you to say your part?
Yes.
So they said, you know what? We are going to put spaces between those parts, and we're going to put pauses. And that's why they invented grammar. One last thing besides grammar. And a crisscross. Turn around. Besides grammar, there was one more thing that we talked about during this period of time. We talked about a lot of things, but one more big thing we talked about, Ryan?
The dictionary.
Yeah. They were the first ones to make dictionaries and encyclopedias, right? Dictionaries and encyclopedias, and we looked up some words last week. Now here's your job. You have illustrated some wonderful pictures, and what I want you to do with your wonderful illustrations is you're going to do a writing activity to go with it.